Hello friends, today we're going to be making picnic roast, pork shoulder picnic roast, Puertorican pernil, that's what we call it, and it's typical, wonderful for holidays and for any day really. So make sure you wash it, take all of that liquid that's in there, the blood and whatever else is in there, and you're going to want to wash it really well, and then we're going to start cutting it. Today I'm going to kind of cut it in like a little butterfly, cut it on the back side where the skin is not, but we want this skin to be in the front and on the top. So we're going to cut it down to the bone and make sure that we get that slice to the bone, and then you go to the left and the right and kind of open it up quite a bit like you would butterfly a piece of chicken breast. So I wanted to butterfly this, but I should have used a much sharper knife, and I'm going to be switching soon on the video. You'll see, because there's a lot of manpower going into this slicing, but it's still getting done. So use whatever you have and just make sure that you're going around the bone, not all the way to the end, but just getting it so that a lot of the meat is exposed, and you're going to be able to season it all. And soon you'll start seeing me poking holes on this. And as I get the other side done, much better knife this time. So you slice it down, not all the way down, but get low enough so that a lot of the meat is exposed. And then you're going to slice the meat a little bit so that it's ready for all the seasoning. You poke and poke, and you're going to be putting seasoning into all these holes. Make sure you get the top and then get the sides. Just make sure you don't poke the skin. You want the skin to be just one large piece, and make sure that you get everywhere around where there is muscle, and you're ready for the seasoning. Now in a bowl we're going to put some garlic, and this is about a whole head of garlic. You want a lot of garlic in this. You never have too much garlic, I don't think. Then you want some adobo. I use Goya adobo, and you kind of want to pretend you're sprinkling it over the meat, and that's how much you put. It's about 2 to 3 tablespoons, and a couple of tablespoons of oregano, and about a tablespoon or 2 teaspoons of sugar. And to balance out the vinegar that we're going to put in, we're going to put in the juice of 1 lemon, and just squeeze half a lemon at a time with this lemon squeezer. And then I like to put both lemon pieces in at the same time at the end, just to get whatever is left over in there. And just make sure seeds don't pop in there, but if they do, well, you're just going to have to take them out. And I like to move it to the side to make sure things come out that might be in there that are not coming through the holes. And then about a half a cup of vinegar, I'd say, and you're going to stir all this together and make it just this wonderful seasoning. A little bit more tablespoon of powdered garlic, and like I said, garlic is good. And just enjoy getting that together. By now you're going to get the smell of this, and it is incredible, just lovely, and it just goes so well with pork. And here it is butterflied, but we want to dry that skin. We're going to put it upside down while we put the seasoning on, and we want that skin to be as dry as possible. We'll keep drying it later on, but we're going to put all this seasoning on top of this pork that we butterflied, and you want to work it in. I mean, work it in. So I'm using my hands, they're clean, and you want to just put it in the holes. Wherever you find a hole or a groove, you want that seasoning in there. And this is going to be, hopefully you can do this 24 hours before or 12 hours before, leave it overnight. I did not have that much time, so I had it about 5 hours before I baked it, and that's okay. But the more you could put in there and leave it in there, 24 hours is like the best. Some people do it 48, but no longer than that. But my usual is to season it the day before I cook it, and I always cook it overnight because it is a low and slow, and it comes out so deliciously tender and moist. And so just keep working that in. Just don't get it on the skin. So you go under the skin, but don't get it on the skin. You don't want that vinegar on that skin. And then it's ready, and then you're ready to cover it with saran wrap. Make sure that it's covered on all sides, or else it's going to smell up your refrigerator overnight, or however long you leave it to marinate. So you want to cover it with saran wrap and cover it really well on all sides. If you need to use 2 sheets, do that. If you have anything that can grab odors like cakes or pies inside the same refrigerator, you probably don't want to keep them in the same place while this is marinating, or else really cover them well and put them in a plastic bag like double barrier so that it doesn't absorb the flavor of the pork seasoning. So when you're done with the marinating time, then take your pork and you're going to dry, flip it over, you're going to dry all that skin. You don't want any moisture on it. And then you're going to want to start salting it. Just put salt, nothing else, just salt. And that then is going to go in the oven, ready to go. And you're going to put it on a rack or something to keep it from being on the bottom if possible. If you don't have one, that's okay. It works. It'll just steam or stew a little more than it does, with a rack. So you put it in the oven on the rack on 225 and for about 10 hours. I did it for about 9 hours and it was done. And you can tell it's done if you put the knife in, and it goes in super easy. So if you have a little resistance, it's probably not done yet and you need some more time. So if you could do it very easily, then it is done. So you want to take off the skin now, and you might have to cut off some of the meat from it that's holding it on, but you want to take that skin off, and you're going to want to brown the top of your pork roast and to brown the skin as well. And just put it upside down on the pan so that that part of the skin that was touching the meat starts getting drier. And then you want to score all the fat and the meat that's on top of this pork roast, because there'll be quite a bit of fat, and that's flavor right there. And you want to kind of score it and on 2 ways, on one side then the other, and kind of make a crisscross shape. And that will just help it brown quickly and get all that fat to render into the meat. This meat came out super, super moist. It wasn't dry at all, and so it was lovely. Now when you're going to put this into the oven, put about half a cup to a cup of water inside the pan, because you don't want to burn those drippings that have been there that have already dried underneath the pork roast. You want to use that later. So put about a cup of water in there when you put this in there, and it'll loosen that up, and you'll be able to use that to flavor the pork after you cut it. And it's just wonderful. And you're going to want to, after this step, you're going to want to cut it all up and put it in the same pan, which will have all those juices on the bottom, and mix it together. It'll be a little brownish, sometimes a little dark, but as long as it doesn't taste burnt and it looks great, it is marvelous. And that pork skin, you're going to put it now at about 400 degrees for about 15 minutes, or just keep watching it. And if you put it on broil also, you could do that. Just you have to watch it like every couple of minutes, make sure it doesn't burn. And there you have it. You've made a wonderful pork roast. Enjoy. All right, this is the time to taste pork. You will love it. Your family will love it. tender, moist, and delicious. And then the skin, I put it in the air fryer for a little bit to crisp it up. And here it is. Mm, really good. Make it for your family. Enjoy. God bless.